Cruise? We want to switch from 720 to 1080. This is how Netflix, Hulu, HBO, YouTube, Vimeo, and all those TV apps work. They're constantly switching from one resolution to another as people watch, using a technique called adaptive bitrate streaming. The whole thing is really complicated, and basically it requires a Surmer farm of transcoding robots, which is why when you go to put video on a website, it's likely you might not use the video element. There's a good chance you'll use embed code from a video hosting service, which I'll talk about right after we talk about captions. It's pretty amazing that we can put audio and video on a website, but not everyone can always hear or understand the audio. Some people are completely deaf. Other people can hear sometimes certain things in certain conditions, but not all the time. And for people who can hear, well, they can't always listen. Sometimes people would listen to a video, but there's some place where they can't use speakers and they don't have headphones. Or they are listening, but they can't really understand the people who are talking because of an unfamiliar accent. Or maybe the person who's talking is talking way too fast. There's a good chance that you're experiencing any of these conditions right now, and you're using the captions for this video. On the web, we have the power that we need to provide content in multiple ways simultaneously. So let's add captions and make our video more accessible to everyone. To do this, we'll use the track element and point to a text file. The video player will provide all the functionality so a viewer can turn captioning on and off, or switch from one set of subtitles to another. There are many file formats for captions, but on the web, we want to use WebVTT, Web Video Text Tracks. It's basically a plain text file with a VTT extension that uses a certain convention for providing the information. You can see here each line of text with the timecode information that tells the video player when to show each line. To get these captions to show up on our video, we put a track element inside the video element. Just like the sources element, it's part of a list of options for the browser to use while rendering the video player. On the track element, we'll use the source attribute to point to the file itself. We'll use the kind attribute to tell the browser that this is captions. We'll add a label of English that will show up in the player as a label for this choice. We'll use a source lang attribute to specify which language this is, and we'll put a default attribute on this track element to specify that this track is the one we want to use by default when a user turns on captions. We can see now that a little captioning icon has appeared, and when we click on it, we have options for off, auto, and English. The word English shows up because that's what I put in my label. Now I'll add a translation into Spanish and offer some options for subtitles. I've got another VTT file, this time in Spanish, and we'll add another track element inside this same video element. This time we'll set kind to subtitles, set source lang to ES for Espanol, and create a label of Espanol. Now we can see that there's a second choice in the list of subtitles, and we have Spanish subtitles. There are a few other options for the kind attribute. We could create a VTT file that has descriptive information about what's happening visually in the video, and use kind equals descriptions. This gives people the option of playing a track that reads aloud descriptions of what you'll miss if you aren't looking at the video. For instance, the astronaut jumps off the ladder and bounces a bit as he hits the ground. This makes a video more accessible to the blind and the visually impaired. Kind equals chapters gives us a way to provide a text file that lists the chapters of the video, giving users a way to jump from one section in a video to another. As I'll talk about in the next video, you might use YouTube, Vimeo, or another video hosting service instead of using the video element in HTML. All of those platforms have a way to upload caption files and provide the same kind of functionality. Captions and subtitles are powerful, and in many places, they're actually required by law. By providing them, you'll make it far easier for more people to find, watch, or listen to your content. Add captions, and your traffic will go up. Earlier, we took a look at the video element, and I mentioned that it's possible you're not going to do video that way. It's likely that you'll